Hello, everyone. Welcome to Owl. I need living conversations, not owl living conversations. We're the owls. I am Julian Katari, and this is Sacred Blue Heron Woman. And we come every week here to speak about many subjects. And this week, we are covering a very, very unique conversation. Um, in continuance to, we've been going through the creation story. We've been going through so many things, right? And so this is going to be a special conversation. So here's Sacred Blue Heron Woman with you. And so what are we talking about tonight?
Well, the Code of Four is a continuation of the creation story of love because the Code of Four gives structure to everything.
Okay. And we were talking about that on the last week before we left, where I think I mentioned about the Andeans having a very prominent Code of Four everywhere in their worldview. There's even been a book, a thesis about how there's a I don't even know the word, quadripartite, a
Right.
four. It's like a mathematical. So this is interesting. Maybe you'll like it. You know how you can everything has a dual nature, a binary nature, right? So it's like positive and negative, and you see that everywhere in the universe. So you can, and computers work in that fashion too, where they're binary, right? So this guy that wrote this book, based on the Andean worldviews, he said that they take this binary logic into a fournary. I don't know how you would say that.
Quaternary.
Quaternary logic.
Yeah.
Where you would have it's like the same two of us in the binary system. It's a positive and a negative, but then there's a false positive and a false negative. And
Or
if you have
could
that
say,
logic applied into computers and stuff, it just like expands the capacity of and also it makes us think about the world we live in. So the Andeans knew about false positives and false negatives.
Right.
So it's not exact. Something that is false is not the same as something that is falsely positive. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, and Jose Arguelles puts it into Father Time, Mother Space term as near space, low time, and high space, far time.
Okay.
And near space, low time would be everything we can have with our senses and telescopes and microscopes. But the far space, high time is well beyond that,
Wow.
which is expansive, which would be the false positive and false negative, right?
Okay.
Just
No, it's a really, really interesting subject, and I'm just eager to hear what you're going to share with us.
well, and that
this.
also goes to the I Ching, which goes from the 2 to the 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which puts us into the infinity loop. The Code of Four does this.
Okay.
With the false positive, false negative, or near space, far time, near space, right? It does this, and we see this at the equinoxes. But yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so very interesting. The Code of Four, and
Right.
And so here it is. What is it? The Code of Four.
So there's a pattern deeper than language, older than time. It's the original symmetry, the divine breath that sculpts galaxies. It sparks life, and it sang our souls into being. We were never placed in a world of chance. We were born into a code, and that code is 4. The blueprint of the universe is not chaos. It is sacred geometry, a design so perfect it hides in plain sight. So we can look around us and feel deeper, because everything we've ever touched or tasted, dreamed, or feared follows this pattern. Nature knows, the ancient knows, and we were never told about this code. Mother Earth dances through 4 sacred seasons, each one a mirror to our inner transformation. The winds move in four directions, each one holding a different current of consciousness and a different initiation. Our life unfolds in four stages: childhood, youth, adult, and then wise elder. A spiral of return, not a straight line. So within our body, we also carry four elemental forces: earth, water, fire, and ether. These elemental forces are not metaphor or myth, they are the foundation. Earth is our structure, the bones and breath of form. Water is our flow, our emotion, our memory. Fire is our mind, the will that carries reality, and air is the whisper, or ether is the whisper of spirit, the breath of the divine moving through us, the inspiration and expiration. So science also speaks of four states of matter. There's solid, gas, solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. And then there's four DNA base pairs that make everything in our bodies: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. These hold the instructions to build the body that carries our soul. So is this coincidence or is it a fingerprint? The code of four is the architecture of everything: the macro and the micro, the body and the cosmos, the breath and the storm. Sorry, got a mosquito flying in my vision. So also the structure of space-time and the pulse of our heart. So look to Grandmother Moon. She moves through four distinct phases each month: the new, the waxing, the full, and the waning. Each one carries a rhythm, a frequency, a message for our becoming. When we sleep, we don't fall into nothingness. We journey through four states of consciousness: first beta or wakefulness, then into alpha, dreaming, and then into theta, which is vision, and then into delta, which is union. Each one unlocking a deeper realm of our own being, and these are not separate from us, they are us. So the code of four is why sacred medicine wheels always had four parts, why ancient temples were aligned with four pillars, four gates, four rivers, and four stars, because the wisest elders knew that if you master the four, you master the all. The code has since been fragmented and ridiculed. We were taught to see the parts, not the patterns. We were told to worship money and data and ignore the dance. The technosphere has been built to operate against the code, to separate our souls from our body and our logic from our intuition, and science from spirit, which has severed us from our true selves. The code has never vanished. It lives in our breath, in our spines, in our dreams, in the soil beneath our feet and the stars above our heads. In the pulse between sounds, it waits in the stillness and whispers when the noise fades. And when we begin to see this pattern not as a concept or idea, but as a living intelligence, something ancient awakens within us. We can begin to feel alignment again between our inner and outer world, our above and below. And we can begin to understand why our life moves in cycles, and why our thoughts spark reality, and why our emotions ripple outward, why our body responds to energy before logic, because we are a reflection of this universal code of four. Think about it. We have 2 arms and 2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
To remember the fourfold code is to reclaim our map and to walk in communication, in communion with the natural order, the God process, the galactic ordering dynamic that governs the entire universe. It is the divine algorithm, the sacred software of existence. And once we become aware of it operating in the world around us, we can feel it inside us. It's the signature of the infinite, the omnipresent, and we are the mirror in which it shines. So a man named Wilhelm Reich found that the God process pulsates to a rhythm of 4. So he called it orgon, or orgasmic energy. The pulse starts with the spark, then the tension building, the release, and the relaxation. So if we turn to the temple of our bodies, we're not just a body, we're not just a mind, we're not just a soul, we're all these and more woven together. So number 1, our physical body is the earth element, our vessel of incarnation. It grounds us into this realm, its form, its density, its boundary, its breath. It's sacred and it's not secondary. This is our altar through which spirit speaks into matter. Our emotional body is water element, the field of feeling. It flows, it stores, it responds. Emotions are not weakness, they're movement. They are vibration made visible. Just like water retains memory, our emotional body holds every imprint of love, fear, grief, and ecstasy we've ever experienced. And if it's unbalanced, it will drown us. But if mastered, it becomes a tide that lifts our entire reality. Our mental body is the fire element, the architect of thought, the forge where belief shapes experience. Our thoughts are not passive, they're blueprints of worlds. Each word is a seed, each belief is a spell, and when scattered, our fire burns wild, overthinking and chaos and anxiety. But when it's focused, it's a torch that lightens our path. It's the ignition of all creation. Our spiritual body, the air element, the breath between the worlds, the bridge between us and infinity. It can't be seen, but it's always present. It's the knowing before thought, the intuition before logic. It's what speaks in dreams and visions, in silence and in synchronicity. And from now on, whenever I use synchronicity, I'm also going to use the word serendipity because serendipity is just so much fun to say.
It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So, synchronicity is just kind of plain. Serendipity is just like dazzling.
Mhm.
Right? So it's the only part of us that remembers where we truly came from. So these are the interwoven layers of our being, our body. And our ancient ancestors mapped them as functional dimensions, not more mere concepts. So the body anchors, the emotions move, the mind shapes, and the spirit remembers. And when one is out of balance, we feel lost. When they're open and aligned, we're unstoppable. Inside every cell of our body is a double strand of divine language, our DNA. It's not just biological code or energetic, but it's energetic instruction, a sacred interface between matter and consciousness, the God process. What holds our DNA together? Four molecules, four keys. Adenine, the earth element, the structure, the physical, the builder. Two, thymine, the water element, the feeling, the flow, the receptor. Three, cytosine, the fire, the element, the thought, the command, the architect. And four, guanine, the air element, the spirit, the unseen, the bridge to the beyond. Science calls them chemicals, but they're elemental forces in disguise. So our DNA is not fixed, it is listening. It responds to light, to sound, to emotion, to belief. It's not a machine. It's a living record of our multidimensional self waiting to be awakened. This is why thoughts heal, love regenerates cells, and why intention or desire rewires our bodies, because our blueprint is not written in stone, it's written in vibration. So within us lie these four centers of manifestation, our engines of creation. They correspond to our four bodies and mirror these four elements. The first lies a little below our navel. It's earth, physical safety, survival, grounded manifestation, and the Japanese call this our hara, our natural center of the universe. When it's open, we walk with power. Our foundation is unshakable. And the next one is in our heart area, or middle dantian for the Chinese, and it's the water element. It holds the key to magnetic attraction, and when it's open, it pulls in serendipity, love aligned opportunities. When it's closed, we experience pain and cycles of fear and stagnation. This center is our engine of attraction. And the next is our mind's eye, or upper dantian, pineal gland, also, third eye. It's the fire element. Fire opens vision, clarity, and inner sight, not just our imagination, it's spiritual perception, the ability to see beyond, to read energy, to know without knowing how. Thought becomes direction, and it's our inner compass. And then there's the above the crown of our head, the air element, the gateway to source. When it's closed, we feel separate, confused, and searching. And when it's open, we know we were never apart to begin with. And we know that we are inside the God process, and the God process is inside us. And Dr. Violdo refers to this as the Viracocha. And we can open it and we can close it.
Mm.
So these four centers are the keys to shaping our reality. And when one is off, the others compensate. When all four are aligned, we are in full command, and creation becomes effortless. Energy flows like breath. We become a living reflection of the code. And we stop operating from fragments and being living from the whole and begin living from the whole. We are the blueprint in motion, or the entelechy in motion. Entelechy was a word coined by Aristotle about the fullest, that our fullest potential. So in our brain, groups of neurons combine together to in identifiable regions, and these regions scale into what are known as large-scale brain networks. These networks operate like self-organizing coalitions working in tandem and collaboration, or ying, to execute high-level tasks and create blindingly complex elements of our consciousness. These four large-scale networks help us shape our reality and are: number one, the default mode network, or the DMN, the central executive network, or the CEN, the salience network, the SN, and the attention network, the AN. It's the interaction of these four primary brain areas, along with the two branches of the vagus nerve, the two, right, that allows us to give our focused attention to our intentions or desires and make that important enough for our brain to embed them into our subconscious and use its power to bring a desire or intention to reality. Now let's step into the deeper fabric of existence, where time bends, folds, and echoes. We've been told that time moves forward with the past behind us and the future that's ahead on a straight road, a race towards something distant and unknowable. That's a lie. Time is not a river we float on. It's a field. It's boundless. It's simultaneous, and it's living. We are the one moving, the one choosing, the one shifting, that coordinates through timelines with every breath. The technosphere's greatest trick is making us believe in linear time, a past, present, and future. If we can be convinced that the past is fixed and the future is unknown, then we will always feel powerless, waiting for change, trapped in cycles. But our ancestors knew better. There are four layers of time, four lenses of perceptions, four keys to liberate us from the illusion of the technosphere. Number one, the past. Not the past we were taught. This past is gone. It lives vibrationally, energetically within our four bodies. Every thought we've repeated, every wound we've buried, every belief we've accepted, it still echoes now, not as a memory, but as a frequency. We're not remembering the past, we're transmitting it. And until we clear it, unhealed experiences don't face. They form gravity and they pull us backward into loops, into, oh my God, why does this keep happening to me? Before we ever had a chance to consciously shape our reality, someone else started shaping it for us. We were born with an open, pure frequency, intuitive, curious, absolutely free. But it didn't take long for that signal to be interrupted. We were taught to fall in line, to be realistic, don't ask many questions. We were hypnotized into believing that success comes from hard work, that we must work to make a living, to work to make money, that worth comes from approval, and that safety comes from staying small. And so we absorb this past, not just in our minds, in our physical bodies, in our energy, in our subconscious mind. And this default mode was installed early, and it continues to run in the background of our life, shaping our time, reality, and space. And that's why we can work hard and still feel stuck and never get ahead. It's not that we're broken, it's just simply that we were wired to live reactively, not creatively. So we've been generating the life we don't want based on frequencies we didn't choose. And we're wired this way by school systems that rewarded memorization over imagination, by social systems that praised obedience over intuition. And we were trained to fit in, not to stand out. We were taught to follow a program. However, the program doesn't serve us. It was built to serve the system, which was intended to keep us predictable, compliant, and easy to manage. Not because we're evil or lazy or unworthy, but that is because that is how the machine, with its lifeblood of debt money, slavery, sustains itself. Prostitution, slavery, prostitution, one and the same. So as long as you are following that default script, our energy is entangled in someone else's narrative. This past is not permanent. It's not frozen. It's fluid. And the moment we change how we hold it emotionally and mentally, the field rearranges and the cycle dissolves. Number 2, present. This is our throne and the real point of power, the moment where all threads meet. It's not just a moment in time, it's a state of being. It's the awareness that captures illusion, the portal through which all change flows. And when we're fully present, fully aware, we exit the technosphere. We become untouchable by regret. We become the conductor of the train, not the passenger. But most of us are not present. We're either reliving the past or rehearsing the future. And that's why we feel small, reactive, anxious, because our energy is not in the now. The present moment is potent. In this stillness, reality reshapes, manifestation accelerates, and intuition sharpens. 3, the future is not a fixed road. We must travel. It's a web of infinite possibilities, all coexisting now. It's a becoming. The future we experience is the one that matches our vibration. What we expect becomes, and what we believe unfolds. So what we feel now plants the seed for what you will feel next. This is why fear is a prophecy, why doubt manifests delay, and why knowing becomes a magnet. We can't predict the future. We're choosing it every moment with every thought, every heartbeat, aligning with timelines that already exist, turning ourselves like a frequency dial. And the more coherent we become, the clearer the path appears. And number 4 is timelessness. This is the realm where all moments merge, past, present, and future melds into the eternal now. This is the cosmic clock, not one that ticks, but one that pulses. And it's not one that rules, it reveals. Time is the mirror, and we are the one that moves the mirror of time. Our brain is not merely gray matter, it's a multidimensional interface, a transmitter of realities. Our brain is not what we've been told. It's not just an organ or a processor of memory, it's an antenna, a tuning fork, a quantum gateway, a four-faced mirror reflecting the unseen realms of our being. It bridges worlds between body and soul, walking and dreaming, waking and dreaming, heaven and earth, thought and infinity. Like all things sacred, it operates by the code of 4. There are 4 brainwave states, 4 keys, and 4 doors through which consciousness flows, each one tied to a different layer of who we are. Most of us live behind one door our entire lives, unaware that others exist. And once we begin to shift between them, we can command reality instead of just react. So, number 1, beta. The world of the physical, wakefulness, logic, language, external focus is the surface layer of consciousness, and this is where the vast majority of us are trapped. It governs task, conversation, alertness, survival. It's also the realm of distraction, stress, and overthinking. Our mind races and never rests. Fear takes root, control systems thrive. High beta waves are induced by modern life, constant news, endless notifications, artificial urgency, and so many of us are locked in the outer world, blind to the deeper realms within us. Alpha, the frequency of flow. The emotional body begins to speak. Creativity arises not from effort, but from stillness. When we're painting or doing something we love, walking in nature, listening to music that moves us, we're in alpha state. This is the bridge between conscious thought and the subconscious. We feel more, we imagine more, we attract more because alpha is magnetic. It softens barriers between us and the field of creation. Rituals, affirmations, and prayer all work best in this brainwave. Open and receptive and suggestible, belief becomes a blueprint. Theta, the secret vault of the mind, the frequency of subconscious programming or reprogramming. Children live here until the age of 7. This is why we are programmed with everything. There's not one single belief we hold that is our own. We have to understand this. Theta brainwaves are deep meditation, dream world, and soul memories. The ego dissolves here. And then 4, delta waves are not just deep sleep, it's deep knowing. Our body sleeps, but our spirit, soul awakens, and our body releases DMT. What does it stand for? It's a molecule.
It's a complex molecule.
Yeah. There is no separation sorry, the mosquito keeps. There is no separation, there's no fear, only truth here. So our brain is not a prison, it's a portal. When we focus, we shift reality into form. Time is a construct, a loop, a spiral, a field we generate through attention. Time does not move, I do. Energy flows where attention goes. Creation is not effort, it's focus. Our attention is our wand, our emotion is the fuel, and what we consistently observe begins to take shape. So reality is not built by external events. And again, then there are four forces in our lives that help us operate. It's gravity, electromagnetism, the weak force, and the strong force. So when we refuse the rules of the technosphere, we cannot be held. The technosphere can't hold us when we refuse its rules. It's
Hmm.
sustained by agreement. It cannot hold what it cannot find, shift beyond its rules, and you are invisible to it. And then finally, again, each moon cycle has four phases. We have 2 hands and 2 feet. So 4 is the power of form. We have 2 arms and 2 legs. Right? So 4 is the power of form that completes itself. 5 is the overtone that powers the form of 5. And so in the next cycle, we're going to explore the overtone pentagram.
The number 5. Hmm.
Right, not next week. That's the next cycle of our program. Next week we're going
Oh,
to
okay. Okay.
talk. Let's meet space next week.
Let's meet when?
Mother space.
Mother Space.
Yeah.
Your audio's kind of going down, or you.
Yeah. No, we'll meet. We'll talk about mother space next week.
Mother Space. Okay, just like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds interesting. So you covered the 4 really quick. Is there any more about it?
Nope, that's it.
Okay,
Short one.
it's a quick one.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like a long thesis. No, it was really, really, really good. Really interesting. How you took it through the 4 states. There is an association with the 4 elements, of course. That all the native people. One other thing I would say is all the native peoples in the Americas, they have this. That's one of the traits of native people in North and South America. That's the cosmology based on the number 4 is very present. You will
Right.
always find symbols that represent the 4 elements, the 4 directions of the universe, all the way from down south from the Mapuche. They have this circle with the 4 divisions, and you find kind of the same symbol everywhere here in the Americas. And it's going to be interesting how you take that number 4 into that number 5,
Right.
but then we have to wait for a while
Which
for
is
that.
the overtone. Right. Yeah.
Hmm. So between that,
Well,
between
and
this
then
and that,
from the 5, it goes to the 8, to the octave. From the 5th, it goes to the octave. But how does the 4 fold into with the 3,
hmm
with the 3rd? We're talking now in musical scales here. This is where we have to kind of converge from the elements into music.
hmm so it's really interesting subject. I would say important, relevant, useful investigation that if anybody wants to deepen into, then you need to join the Cycle 1 training, which
Right.
is something that is happening in Aloha Anidao Living. You can check that out, alohaanidaoliving.com, and you can join the training program as soon as you're ready. We'll be ready. So it's going to happen magically. There's going to be serendipity about it. So
Yes. Serendipity is just such a fun word to say.
yeah. So I hope that this was serendipitous for you, dear watchers, and please support us by liking and sharing and commenting and interacting. Please do that. And we will see you next week at the same time with the space, the mother space, the mother space.
The Incas
Okay.
knew that we could not exist without duality, our father time and our mother space. So next week we've touched on father time briefly.
Okay.
In the next cycle, we're covering cycle 1 of the Owl Council House training program. In the cycle 3, then we will go into father time in depth.
All right. So very exciting. Okay. So with that, we'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.